evening we want to talk about Cabernet and especially Stellenbosch Cabernets. So this is our effort this evening to show the top Cabernets and from Stellenbosch, and also how they age. We feel that it has always been there, it just needs to be said. We have aptly named it the Kingdom of Cab because we feel that Cabernet is the king of the varieties, and that's how it should be.
Definitely a special welcome to my fellow winemakers and fellow wine producers in Stellenbosch. Welcome to the Stellenbosch Kingdom of Cabernet tasting. A special word of welcome to Greg Sherwood next to me, British Master of Wine, who came especially from London to be our panel chair tonight.
This was our first 5-star platter wine as well, so this wine was really quite a nice cherry on the cake. I believe that the terroir at Oldenburg is something pretty unique.
And my personal choice of grape were Cabernet from the Helderberg. And now for the last 10 years I've been fortunate to be at Vrede and to work with the fruit that I want to work with.
I thought the wines were fantastic. I initially thought that knowing the premium quality of wines that we're getting tonight, that some of them may be too young, but they were all showing amazingly well.
It was absolutely beautiful, well executed, and obviously beautiful wines. It's a nice way to express and to show a specific origin, in this case a specific variety, that I appreciate a lot.
It was very good because it's actually my very first tasting event in South Africa.
Oh, that was terrific. I think it's probably the greatest Cabernet tasting I've been to of South African wine, so hugely impressive. Great range, great turnout.
It was the best tasting of South African, or Stellenbosch Cabernet certainly, best tasting of South African Cabernets I've ever attended. To the rest of the world? Well, I think at the moment these 20 wines that we tasted here were a lot more interesting and probably a lot better, in my humble opinion, than 20 wines from Bordeaux. I go to Bordeaux every year for the en premiere tasting, and I certainly got a lot more pleasure out of these wines than I did, and I didn't have to suffer the joys of Air France and a week in Bordeaux to do so. I thought the Zonneblum was amazing because it's 138 Rand. I mean, what's that, about $10?
Sorry for my pronunciation, but Ver Genoeg was a new acquaintance, and I really liked that one.
The two wines that stood out for me were Canon Cop and then the Stark Condé.
Canon Cop, the Stark Condé.
I loved the Canon Cop. The Stark Condé was absolutely outstanding.
I thought the 8K Colonnade was beautiful as well.
The wine from Ver Genoeg, it was almost as if you could taste a bit of the saltiness coming from the ocean, and that was also special because it showed its sense of place and its origin.
And it had poise, it had elegance, and the winemaker, Praisy Tlamini, was so nice to see a black lady, something you don't see much of in South African wine. I think it's superb, and she's so cool and so relaxed, and she's just so in touch. Yeah, that's what we should be having more of.
Robert Joseph, who's an international commentator, was saying that when he first came to South Africa in 1987, there was too much confidence and not enough quality. He says now there is lots of quality, and if anything, South African winemakers are a little bit diffident about promoting their own charms and those of their wines. So I think we need to go out there with a self-assurance rather than an arrogance, and I think that success will follow.
Maar ek dink dit gaan nou net vir ons om die storie internasionaal te gaan vertel, dat die mense eintlik dit hoor, maar dat dit oor en oor en oor dieselfde storie kan begin hoor, en sodat hulle uiteindelik sal begin luister. Want mense hoor baie, maar hulle luister baie selde.
I guess more promotions have to be done and more tasting events, like comparative tasting in emerging markets like Asian markets, because New World wines need to be more clear in terms of brand image and region image, and I guess more education has to be done in our markets.
There were a couple of the cabs on show tonight that was less than 150 Rand a bottle. You know, then you're talking less than 10 quid on the shelf. It's That's actually almost sort of underselling your wine and doing a little bit of harm. There's one thing to be said for value for money, but there's something else completely if your wine's way too cheap, because then you're hitting the wrong market with your product.
If you look at other New World countries like Chile and Argentina, they've got wine selling for above $100, and over here we still think it's exorbitant, but that is the glass ceiling that we have to break in order to be taken to the next level in terms of quality and perception in the eye of the consumer.